What's up, world? It's your girl, Candy J. If you've never met me before, welcome. Thank you. So glad that you are here. So, y'all, I don't know if it's just me, but when it comes time to set up a new planner, I get excited, y'all. So, this video, I am changing up my planning system. I'm going to be setting up a B6 Stalogy as my main planner. I'm really excited because I have noticed about my planning journey, and I'm just speaking for myself because I don't know about everybody else, but for me, I have noticed that different times of the seasons of the year, my planning systems will change. I noticed that last year, around this time of year, I had transitioned back into a more bullet journal style. I was in a Stalogy. I think I went through an A5, an A6, and I think those two for a little while, but it was always during this time of the year that I would switch over from rings to the bullet journal system. So that is what I am doing. So I'm gonna walk y'all through what I go through when I set up a planner for the first time to get ready to use. So I'm gonna walk y'all through with me, and then we'll see how it turns out at the end. I'm so excited. Okay, y'all, so we're getting ready to set up the cover of my Stalogy. Usually I will have something that will cover the Stalogy completely, but this go around I wanted to keep it simple, so I took a vinyl decal that I bought from a shop on Etsy named Melanin Secret and cut it with my Cricut as a decal. And that is what I'm about to put on the front. And that's the only thing that I'm going to put on the front. Alright, now I'm pulling out the trusty Hobonichi Weeks. I used my planner to, one of my other planners, to literally plan out how I'm setting up a new planner. Yes, I do that. It is helpful for me to see what I want the setup to look like ahead of time, so that it's a lot easier for me to set up once we set up. So I'm just referring back to the notes that I took about how I wanted to set it up, and I'm going from there. One of the next major things that I like to set up when I first set up a Stalogy notebook in particular is to take the time out to create a grid spacing spread. I use this as a quick reference for things that I use often. So I will mark in my grid space how many boxes is halfway, how many boxes are full length. I also do a grid spacing for my calendar boxes on my monthly calendar so that I can quickly reference how many boxes it takes. Yes, you see me pulling out the pencil and pad because I needed to calculate something, and sometimes it's a lot easier to do on paper than in my head. moving on to putting a vinyl decal inside the cover of the Stalogy. I really dislike the green inside of the Stalogy covers. I just can't deal, y'all. So I always cover them in some way when I get them. This time, again, I wanted to go with something a lot more simple than what I usually do. Well, simple to my standards, but what I decided to do this time was to use white. No, I think it's perfect. No. Vinyl, and then on my Cricut, I cut out some cheetah prints and did an overlay and just made that for my cover and cut it to the size of the inside of the Stalogy. Now I'm just adding in some extra deco. I believe that is a picture that I found on Pinterest that I printed in Canva to print out. I printed it out on cardstock and added that in. This iconic dashboard actually came from cloth and paper. I believe I bought it. It was a while ago. It was a dashboard for a personal size planner, but I loved it, so I cut it down to fit inside of my planner as deco. I also put a sticky note to note where I want my year at a glance to go, because I'm eventually going to have to print that out. This next section is my future log. I used to set up my future log with the calendars, but I realized that that did not function well for me. So what I'm using for my future log now is an adaptation of the Alistair method. Now I'm setting up a few pages in the beginning of my planner for inbox. Usually I use an inbox just to dump information as it comes that I don't really know where it's gonna go yet. Sometimes I'll use sticky notes. Sometimes I actually like having to list it out. So what I did was create a dashboard that I can then stick sticky notes to, and left a couple blank pages after the inbox. Another staple in my bullet journal system is the usage of the index. Within the bullet journal system, and if you have not heard of it, the author's name is Ryder Carroll. I encourage you to read his actual book to learn the actual process, because it is very in-depth. But I specifically like the index section because the index system, you can actually put that name down, you can put the page number down, and then list it so that you can come back to refer to it. And it's been super helpful for me. The last section of my planner that I'm going to set up is the calendar section. So I will have my monthly view and my weekly view and dailies as they come in this section. you'll see that I'm setting up my calendar boxes, which I used my grid chart in the beginning to help to space out the boxes. I'm filling in the month, the dates, the day of the week. I'm also going to set up the weekly, which I'm also referring back to the grid spacing. I have my 1 week on a page. I have a running to-do list that's on one section. And then on the opposite side, there will be the daily pages. Oh, I'm so excited how it turned out. It definitely is a reflection of me. I love all of the little extra tabs and things to make it easier for me to get to where I need to get to. I'm really excited how it turned out. I also added in a section for trackers, so I'm tracking my bills, I'm tracking all of my social media growth. Y'all, if you have made it this far with me, thank y'all so much for rocking with me. I have finished setting up my planner. I will probably be adding a few little pieces of deco here and there over the next couple days, but for the most part, the main setup of that planner is done. I am so excited with the way that it turned out. I thank y'all again for rocking with me. If you don't already follow me on social media, you can find me on Instagram at planner_blackgirlmagic_melanin. Oh, by the way, make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, share, y'all, so that I know that y'all are rocking with me, that we can keep building and I'll keep sharing. Until the next time.